got a chance to see the series finale of Evil. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. Starting back work on a reality show in a week and a half, or I think it's 2 weeks. We had the meeting yesterday, so I'm first ADing. So exciting stuff. And so Evil. We're going to jump into this. This is a TV show that's on Paramount Plus. I think it was originally on CBS and moved to Paramount Plus. Before we jump into it, remember to give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you can. And if you can, subscribe, please, too. I am trying to grow the channel out. And also, I am a board game designer as well. And we are creating a classic Monsters card game that's going to be launching in October for Halloween. That is no coincidence, by the way. So we're going to be launching this on Kickstarter with art by Mark Spears. And you can check out the link below to sign up. We have just about 400 people that are going to be notified. So please join in. I'm trying to get that to about 500 before we launch it. All right, so check that out. And let's jump into Evil. So if you have not been watching Evil, you are missing out. It is an amazing show. I originally started watching it not only by the name, but because I think Katja Herbers, who plays the female lead, I think she's sexy as hell. And it also has Mike Colter, who is I wouldn't say he's a great actor, but I can tell that he's a great guy. I met him at one of the Comic-Cons. He's just a really nice guy. He played Luke Cage, so he played the lead of Luke Cage. And he's got that heroic type vibe that comes off of him. But yeah, he's really cool, and so he's one of the other reasons I watched this, and I got really into it. I think I started watching mid through season 1, and then went back and saw the first few of them, and I've been watching it ever since. And now we went up to season 4, and it's set up for a season 5, but it was canceled. I'm not sure why it was canceled. I mean, I can't imagine it being that expensive. But anyway, it's Mike Colter. I'll tell you the basic storyline. It's about a priest, a man who's basically becoming a priest. I think he's kind of working his way in, and he is staffed with other people to be assessors, which is really interesting. So the Vatican decided they want an assessor program where they are tasked with it's almost like X-Files, except instead of just the alien stuff, it's all occult. It's all has to do with heaven and hell. So they are sent to assess whether somebody is looking for is possessed, or if there's demonic things going on or whatever. So they are assessed. They go assess whether it's real or not. And so you have Mike Colter, who is of course the believer. His name is David. And then you have Katja Herbers, who is a psychologist. So she's supposed to assess the person that's involved, that's claiming they are possessed, or if there's demonic stuff, to see if there's any psychological problem with that person. And then you have Ben, which is played by Asif Manvi, and he is the tech guy. He's the guy that says, no, this photo's been manipulated, or that noise is being made by something else in the house. So he's mechanical and he's tech. I think they did a really good job of casting here. They have a diverse cast, but that isn't the point of it. The fact that all of the characters eventually feel like a family, and it really comes off as the show progresses, how much these people not only the characters rely on one another, but how much the actors rely on one another. And you can tell that they support one another, that they're friends in real life, and I'm going to miss that kind of camaraderie that they bring to this show. So like any other show, it's you're inviting people into your home to hang out with, and that's how you feel with this show. So this is done by Michelle and Robert King, who do The Good Fight and The Good Wife, which are really good shows as far as a lawyer show. They should have hired these people to do She-Hulk. It probably would have been a far better show. Maybe if they do bring it back, these guys are the ones. These are the showrunners to bring on. They've already proven that they can do law shows and that they can create relationship in this very, very far-fetched, because it is a far-fetched world. They make it work. I mean, some of it's goofy as hell, but they make it work. The main priest that hired them, he dies, and the best friend of that, which is the guy from The Princess Bride, the one that is the head of the bandits or whatever, he's a priest in here, and he is dying. And they put him in a chamber to die because they want to measure the soul, if there is a soul. And as everybody knows, 5 grams, something like that. He ends up not dying, and whatever happens, he remains alive and takes over the assessors program. Meanwhile, the guy that created it, he's the one who dies. And then you have Ben, who is, again, the tech guy. They are researching this facility that's supposed to be haunted and end up finding like a path to hell kind of thing that's been drilled into it, or drilled out of, I should say. But he gets hit by like gamma rays or some kind of rays, and he ends up like seeing a djinn, and hearing the djinn's voice continuously. So that's like his arc going on. Meanwhile, Kristen, who's Katja Herber's children, she has 4 girls, and they all talk at the same time. It's pretty. Whoever made that decision for all the girls to talk at the same time every time, it was really good. It's funny every time. Where they just kind of talk over one another. It's just a cacophony of voices. But anyway, Leland is working for demons, and he's an ex-assessor. And he used to work for the church, but anyway, he's now a sergeant for hell. He wants Kristen's eggs so that they can create the Antichrist, all right, which they do, because it ended up that she has eggs that are frozen, and they're trying to make the Antichrist out of those. But her mother, Cheryl, ends up working for Leland and having a relationship with him. And so she gets promoted, and so finally she thinks that she's going to be at the same level as the men, but meanwhile they're dealing with demons. Of course, they're not going to promote a woman. That's the whole thing, is that those are the patriarchy of hell, But anyway, they put her in this little office. The office itself is not small, but she's like, I finally broke the glass ceiling. So they put her in an office where she has to almost kneel to get to her desk, because the ceiling is so low, and it's a glass ceiling. So she's literally looking up at the men that are walking above her there's another office above them where they're walking around. It's pretty funny. So, but anyway, so we have, that whole dichotomy, and she can see the demon, right? The demon is her boss, that is also Leland's boss, and she can see, like, I guess a lot of people that work for the company can't see that it's a demon. And then you have Sister Andrea. She's an older woman, and she can see demons everywhere, even if they're completely invisible. So she's a really, really interesting character, and David ends up leaning on her quite a bit. And David is also so David and Kristen had a thing, so they actually had sex, even though he's a priest. And there's a demon that keeps showing up that looks just like her. And I guess he keeps having sex with the demon. I don't know. At least at one point, where then he tries to swear off her. But it's really cool because she ends up in like pigtails and like little schoolgirl outfits and stuff like that. Anyway, it's the show has a charm to it. I can't even describe it, but once you watch it, you'll get hooked. There's also a demon that's like in the house that can paralyze her, and she keeps trying to figure out ways to unparalyze herself while this demon is like on top of her. So it's got horror in it, it's got comedy in it, and it's got that the relationship between the characters that is what keeps the whole show going. Again, I can't imagine why they canceled it. So the fourth season really doesn't end. It does to a little bit of an extent. That does close up a few things, but not everything. Because of course, I guess they didn't realize that they said that they were canceling it like after the first few episodes ran. So I can't imagine them having to that they didn't know or had everything shot already and they couldn't go back and fix the ending. I guess they left it open just in case it get picked up from a different network, I guess. I don't know. And Michael Emerson is one who plays Leland. He's the one from Lost. That was like the Outsiders or whatever. He was the leader of that. And it was neat to see the girls grow up too, because after 4 years, they're not really kids anymore. They're becoming teenagers. But anyway, I can't recommend this show enough. It's got a lot of heart, and I would definitely recommend you starting from the beginning, and especially now for people that like to have everything done, so they don't have to wait for the episodes to come and air. They can literally binge the entire season. I dare you not to get hooked on it and hooked on the characters. Anyway, love it, and I'm going to give this whole series probably an 8.5 out of 10. It's very, very good. Anyway, definitely check it out, and on Paramount Plus, and they do curse and stuff like that here too. It's interesting because it's on Paramount Plus now. They can do whatever they want, I guess. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Remember, again, to give me that thumbs up, give me a like, give me a subscribe if you can. Ring that bell, ding, ding. And remember, too, that Myth Lords are going to be launching in October, where you can play as the classic monsters, and as well as some of the other characters here, like the Mummy and Bride of Frankenstein, etc. And you're fighting over different locations and stuff to that effect, like the Mummy's tomb and things to that effect. It's lots of fun. Anyway, everything you need is in the box. It only takes about 10 minutes to learn. And the description below will have the link to the Kickstarter. Thanks again for watching, guys. Remember to check out some other videos as well as you head out. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great week.